Are thin brows back in style? Well, TikTok says so, but that is debatable. So let's get into why right now. So you may not be into thin brows, but according to Gen Z and TikTok, thin eyebrows are back in style. This is definitely a retro beauty trend, and it involves shaping your brows to be super skinny, and it's making a comeback now, thanks to TikTok, of course. But given that those who lived through this trend the first time around may still be recovering from the damage they did to their brows back when it was a trend, this is something that you really shouldn't take lightly. So those who consider this, especially when they don't naturally have thin brows, should really beware. In the 90s and early 2000s, some big names such as Naomi Campbell, Pamela Anderson, Gwen Stefani, and even Kate Moss rocked these thin brows, and they were ultra thin, but it was also seen as a high fashion look. But here's the situation when it comes to thin brows, especially for those who don't naturally have thin brows. This isn't something that you should really experiment with, because eyebrows have a tendency of remembering what you told them the first time. And what I mean by that is that when you pluck your brows to the point where they are super thin, it causes brow muscle memory. Brows are the slowest growing hairs on the body, so when someone decides to really thin out their brows, it is a possibility that those brows may not fully recover and grow back to the extent that they previously were. I mean, why do you think that they came up with these concepts of microblading over the years? Because people really had some damage done to their brows that was to the point of no return. While I'm not a big fan of microblading for everyone, it definitely is a service that can benefit a number of people who were not able to grow their brows back. And considering the fact that there are many people who have gone through unfortunate experiences in their health that caused their brows to thin out to the point where it wasn't what they were used to having, then I don't think that it's something that people should experiment with. So if someone is considering rocking thin brows, you can try out filters on social media. You can even play with makeup and tinting or bleaching for that matter, which may just help you to see what it would look like if your brows were thinner versus shaving them off, tweezing them to the point of recognition, waxing them, threading them, any hair removal method that is going to thin out your brows. At Carolina Eye Candy, we recommend not following trends when it comes to brows, which is one of the reasons why we do not offer microblading services at our business. And it's not so much that microblading is a trend, but there are a lot of people that jumped on the bandwagon of getting these services done because of how much it grew in popularity, when in reality, they really didn't need to get this service done. We are all about natural brows at Carolina Eye Candy, so trimming, waxing, tweezing, tinting, brow makeup, anything that we can naturally do to enhance one's brows is what we focus on here. If someone has naturally thin brows, then we want them to be able to rock them to their full potential. So making sure that the shape is right, not removing too much, cleaning up what would be essential to make the arch look appropriate is what we recommend. All brows should be customized to suit your face and not someone else's, because everyone's face and brows are unique, and even your two brows are not the same, because like we say at Carolina Eye Candy, brows are siblings, not twins. So even sometimes one brow may look a little bit off from the other if you stare at it in the mirror long enough. So when it comes to brows, we don't recommend following trends when it is something that could drastically change your brow shape or cause some permanent effects that you really were not ready for.